What is cracking, you guys? Welcome on back to the channel. Today we are taking a look at something that you guys have been begging me to make a more in-depth video on. I've been teasing this all over my social media. This is the Acetec Genesis. So at first look, you might be looking at this and thinking, wow, that is like so ridiculously overkill. I can just put a little tiny tracer unit on my gun and call it a day. And I totally hear you there. That is the exact same thing that I thought when I first laid eyes on this bad boy. Acetec was generous enough to send this out to me for a review. So big shout out to Acetec for that. That being said, I will try to keep my bias out of it. They're not paying me anything to say anything nice, but this was something that I thought would be interesting for you guys and interesting for me to check out. Big fan of tracer units, and this is definitely something pretty unique. And it's not just a tracer unit, we will get into that. There's more within this massive package than meets the eye. So let's talk about what this tracer unit actually does. Again, it is huge, it's big, it's bulky. There's gotta be something that's packed inside this that makes it worth the while. So obviously the look is pretty unique. In my comments, a lot of people have been comparing it to like something like the Max M9, which if you don't know is an integrally suppressed pistol. It's like a very, more modern pistol, futuristic looking, kind of cyberpunk. And this is definitely, certainly a pretty cyberpunk looking Glock. But yeah, it's just something kind of unique that you don't really see a lot of. And a lot of people have Glocks. So this is something that can kind of adapt right to that without having to go buy a whole new pistol. So for me, I'm someone who likes to kind of trick my pistols out quite a bit. I run a tracer unit, run a flashlight, all that good stuff. And that's kind of where this thing shines, literally and figuratively. So yes, this is a tracer unit. It is bright, it's beautiful, works like how you would imagine. Now it also has a Bifrost module built in. So it does do the muzzle flash, and it can do the rainbow muzzle flash, and it can do any color that you want. More on that later because it's really cool what they've done with this one. But I think the more interesting part is what you kind of don't see right away. And if it was just a tracer unit, it doesn't really justify the big package. So what they've done to this is they've kind of turned it into like a Spy Kids toy gadget crazy thing. If that makes any sense. I immediately think of Spy Kids when I think of this because it's just got everything packed right into it. It's got a pressure switch down here, similar to like what you would have on a pistol style light here. So it's got the tabs on the other side that you can push to activate your flashlight if you've got one of those. Now, built into this, you also have, I gotta turn it on first. There we go. And it also has a flashlight, which is pretty cool. Ambidextrous, you can do it on either side, which is pretty sweet. So having the built-in flashlight functionality is pretty cool. It's definitely not gonna win any awards in terms of brightness or throw distance or anything like that, but having a flashlight built right into your tracer unit, pretty cool. Again, pretty unique look and definitely a bit of a novelty kind of thing, but it's cool that that's built right in. Also on top of that, if you triple click, 1, 2, 3, I did 4 there, but it also has a laser, which you can't really use in most airsoft games, but it is like actually dead accurate with my iron sights, which is pretty cool, like right out of the box. So it's also got that laser built in, which again, probably something you're not gonna be using a ton of, but the real thing has that built in as well, which is pretty cool. So it's cool that it's included, and why not, right? So you got your tracer, you've got your muzzle flash, you've got a flashlight, plus you've got a laser. And if that wasn't enough, you've also got a chronograph built in here as well. If you are someone who does a lot of custom crazy work on your pistols, throwing in new barrels, buckings, nozzles, all sorts of crazy stuff, it is kind of nice just to see what your pistol's shooting at. So that is kind of one nice thing. And you might be wondering, how do you check the chrono? How do you activate that and all that? And that is where we get to the fun part. This is Acetec's app. So Acetec actually has Bluetooth functionality in here, and it comes with an app as well you can download. On that app, you can connect to it. There's a bunch of other devices you can connect to. I've actually got an Acetec chronograph as well, so you can connect that to the same app as well. But it's cool having a built-in chronograph with that, and you can see all your FPS obviously on the app, as well as your tracer and your Bifrost functionality. You can control with the app, which is super cool. I found with the actual Bifrost unit, scrolling through all the different color modes was kind of confusing, and you had to play around with it a ton to even figure out what you were getting. You didn't really know, except for the colors, of course. The colors were pretty self-explanatory. So if you want your muzzle flash to be green or purple or whatever, those are pretty easy to find, but the different tracer modes and all that sort of stuff was very confusing. So this makes life way easier having the app. You can go on the app, you can change the color of the Bifrost to whatever color you want, not just like a few different colors to choose from. Like there's literally the entire color wheel. So I've gotten a ton of comments as well for people asking for different Glock models, like will this fit on different Glock models, especially the G18C, which I agree, this would be pretty dope on a G18C with full auto. However, currently right now, this is only available for the G19. So if we take off this module, this is the actual tracer unit itself. You've got your different buttons in here if you don't want to go on the app, and you can control, you know, your different Bifrost or tracer modes that way. I'm just gonna set that down out of the way. But what it actually clips into is this little module here, which clamps onto your gun with this wheel. And I think it's got like a little bracket that when you twist this wheel, it kind of like blocks into your one pick rail slot. And that's kind of what holds it all in place. So even I've got it loose here and you still can't pull it off. So you really gotta loosen her off and then you can just slip it off. And on here, it actually says, I'll show a more close up afterwards, it says G19 on here. So I think what they'll be doing is making different versions of just this piece here, different lengths, and it should be able to go on to different Glocks. So hopefully that's something that comes out in the future. I can't see why they wouldn't do that, especially being that this actually says just G19 on there. Makes me think they're probably making others. Yeah, overall, really, really cool. I'm definitely a big fan of the Glock 19 platform, and this is definitely something that makes it a little more unique. I would love to run this indoors sometime. Unfortunately, of course, my indoor field nearby has closed, and the closest one to me is a long ways away. So maybe at some point we'll get out there and run this thing and shoot some rainbows, but unfortunately for now, it's just kind of a desk queen. So that's unfortunate, but hopefully it'll get some love soon. Well, anyway, that's pretty much it for today's video, you guys. Hope you enjoyed. Again, big thank you to Ace-Tech for sending this out for a review. A lot of you guys have been asking questions about it, so I figured I would do a more in-depth video. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. We will see you in the next one, guys. Stay awesome. Peace.